Well, these are the legislative proposals that will deliver on the headline target that the Commission announced in March, that they want to reduce the amount of Russian energy imported into the EU, the amount of Russian gas imported into the EU by 2/3. And as the member states continue to argue over the possibility of having an embargo on oil, this is a more long-term plan to, in the immediate term, to find diversified suppliers of fossil fuels, but in the longer term, to reduce the EU's use of fossil fuel in general. So this is an increase in already existing climate targets. For instance, this proposal would raise the renewable energy target that was a 40% share by 2030 to a 45% share by 2030. It's also going to increase energy efficiency targets because, of course, the energy that the EU doesn't use is also energy that it's not importing from Russia. Perhaps most significantly, this proposal has a mechanism by which you would have joint procurement of gas. So all of the EU countries would band together and the Commission would actually purchase gas from Russia and other suppliers on behalf of all the member states. That would work just like the vaccine procurement did during the pandemic for COVID-19 vaccines. That does still need approval by member states, but it was member state leaders themselves that asked for this at that summit in Versailles that happened in March. We just heard from Commission Vice President Frans Timmermans that actually this joint procurement will be open to some non-EU states, including Ukraine, Western Balkans, Georgia, Moldova, and so all kinds of countries could benefit from basically not competing with each other so they can get the best price and they're in a strengthened position with energy suppliers. In the short term, that will still be Russia, but of course in the long term, they are looking to completely end their energy relationship with Russia.
And there were also new proposals on defense spending coordination between EU members.
Indeed. So this is another big, unprecedented step. For the very first time, the European Commission is becoming a military organization. They will be coordinating the national military spending of member states. There's two big changes here. One is that the Commission will periodically assess the gaps in EU military spending, and they will also have joint procurement for military equipment for EU armies. Now, the commissioners speaking just now, a High Representative for Foreign Affairs, Josep Borrell, stressed that military activities are still a national competence. This isn't an EU army or whatever people might be afraid of. This is closer coordination of the existing national armies. The Commission will assess where efforts are being duplicated, where there are gaps in needs, and that they will joint procure equipment for those gaps or adjust that spending if two countries are, for instance, duplicating efforts. So High Representative Borrell gave the example that the US military has one type of tank, the EU has 12 type of tanks. So they're not able to, the different national militaries aren't able to fix each other's tanks. They're not able to procure the same type of tank. So this is a big ask. It's an unprecedented step for the EU into the area of military affairs. And the idea is that now that all European countries agree that they all need to increase their military spending, if they do so in an uncoordinated and inefficient way, it's a waste of money. And so the EU needs to coordinate this. The EU is very keen to stress this is being done within the NATO alliance. It is not meant to duplicate efforts, and it is not meant to replace NATO as the bedrock of Europe's security.
Dave Keating reporting there from Brussels.